So there I was, knee deep in grenade pins. And I said to Leif, get ready for some incoming. He said, check. No. That's
you said we weren't going to do the Jocko today.
Well, you did put a quote here in your book. I was reading your manuscript, Josh, and it said, discipline is the difference between being good and exceptional. Jocko Willing. Welcome back to another episode. My name is Desmond Soon, and I'm joined here by founder Josh Spurrell. He's Canada's top-rated CPA and most sought-after CFO. Josh, we're shooting this video series because we are helping entrepreneurs to dispel myths and to be able to scale their businesses so they can beat the odds.
Yes.
And beat that 4%.
Yes.
And in today's episode, we want to talk about a common question that we get all the time. Should I work on weekends? Should I or should I not work on weekends? In fact, take a look at all these boats around us here. Wouldn't you just love to go on one of these boats?
We could be on the boat instead.
We could be. You know, I thought I could just, do a 4-hour work week, work with my laptop, and be on the boat out cruising. Josh, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, well, I can tell you what the unsuccessful entrepreneurs think.
Yes, please tell me what the
unsuccessful entrepreneurs think. You should be on the boat. You shouldn't have to work weekends. Right? When we get into meetings with unsuccessful entrepreneurs, they're never available on Saturdays.
That's true, yeah.
They never want that 8 a.m. slot, right? God forbid a 6 a.m. meeting, right?
Right. I do 7, I do 6s, yeah.
So, I mean, they're running their business as if they're a union representative, right?
Right.
And they should be working 30 hours a week with, half of it spent around holding a shovel watching someone else work, right? So the successful entrepreneurs, that's a different story altogether.
Right.
The successful entrepreneurs, they're working weekends, right?
Yep.
They are, they're working early hours, right?
Right.
So it just happens. I mean, a 6-day work week is long documented.
Right.
I mean, there's a book that's a couple thousand years old that will suggest about working 6 days a week.
And taking the 7th day off.
Taking the 7th day off. Henry Ford did not invent this concept of work week, right? This has been around for thousands of years, right?
J. Paul Getty and all the famous, the big greats and stuff, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, working weekends goes with the territory.
Right. Now, Josh, help me to understand. And also, by the way, we do, in the series here, we actually shot another video in which we were talking about, should I wake up early? If that's your question, go check out that video up there. We did actually touch a bit about working on weekends.
Yes.
It's a very debatable topic, but you're a numbers guy and you look at the statistics of what is successful, what works and what doesn't work.
Yes.
And so when you see what successful entrepreneurs are doing, what are the stats showing?
I mean, the top CEOs, they're working on average of 6 hours a weekend, right?
Yes.
These are top CEOs with full-fledged resources and support systems, and even they have to work at least 6 hours on a weekend.
6 hours on a weekend. So they are working, whether it's a Saturday or Sunday.
That's right.
Ideally, if they can keep it to just one day and take the other day off.
That's right.
But they're still putting in 6 hours.
Yeah, and business, it's like pushing a car, right?
Right.
Once you get it rolling, it's way easier, but to get it started, it's a lot more effort, right?
Correct.
So to think that you're going to get it rolling and not be working those weekends initially for the first, months, year, that's not what's going to happen, right? It normally is going to take that a length of time, and it's like, could you do it working less and not working weekends? It's like, you could, but what if your competition is working weekends, right?
That's true, yeah.
I mean, 70% of all retail sales happen after 6 p.m. or on weekends.
Correct, yep.
And how many times do you see the mom and pop store, they're closed on the weekend,
Yep.
the big box store down the street, they're open.
They're
right?
open, yeah.
They
And
know these numbers.
even other businesses like real estate businesses, retail businesses, anything to do with customers, they are open on weekends.
Yeah.
And operating. They might close on a Monday. A hairstylist might close on a Monday.
Yep.
Right, but they are definitely open every other day. Now, Josh, what are the benefits or what are the advantages of working on a Saturday?
So much like we talked about in the video, we're talking about waking up early.
Correct.
Weekends you have less interruptions, right?
Yep.
There's going to be less employees asking questions of you. There's going to be less questions from suppliers or other vendors asking questions from you. So you're going to have more uninterrupted time.
Yep.
Plus, some of the highest value contacts that you have, some of your best customers, they might not be available during the week, right?
Correct.
But to get them in on a Saturday, they're hustlers just like you,
Where
right?
they're not rushed. If you need them to make a big decision, you might want to catch them on a Saturday and they'll be at the office as well too.
That's right. So you can get this uninterrupted time. You can get significant time with decision makers.
Yeah.
But if you're not there on Saturday, I mean, this game is being played by your competitors and you're not even on the field.
Yeah, whether you like it or not.
That's right.
Josh, what is something, can you give an example to the viewers, the business owners that may be watching this? How do you use your Saturdays? Do you just do client meetings? Do you do financial planning? Do you do thinking time? Do you invest in courses, reading books? Is that considered useful time on a Saturday?
I used to do it more for working on the business. So these were the times where I didn't have the systems, checklists, and templates, and I could write them, right?
Right.
The phone's not ringing, I didn't have as many client meetings, and I could write them.
Right.
Now, where our demand has far exceeded the capacity, that my highest and best use is doing client meetings. So at this point now, for the last few years, I'm 8 a.m., 10 a.m., 1 p.m., 3 p.m. every Saturday.
Yes.
Every Saturday, unless I'm on vacation. So,
correct.
I mean, I meet with clients sometimes, and I'm meeting with them a Saturday at 8, and they think it's an extra meeting time. And I tell them, it's like, no, that's every Saturday at 8. There is a business owner here. If you don't take that slot, someone else will, right?
Yeah.
But that's 4 extra meetings a year. Put it in 4 extra meetings a week. Put it in perspective. I do 60 meetings a week
already,
and I do 4 additional meetings on the weekend, right?
Yep.
I mean, it's a 25% increase in my top line revenue because my revenue is guided by the number of meetings that I do only because I'm operating on Saturday, right?
Correct. And it's scheduled. So we do also have another video, by the way. Check the I button up here. We actually talk about scheduling versus to-dos.
Yeah.
Definitely you want to figure out how to manage your time. We have a whole series here all about that. Check that video out up there. Also, by the way, if you are liking these videos and you want to ask Josh a personal question, something that actually really pertains to you, type it in the comments. I'll get Josh to reply to you directly so you can get your answers. Or if you'd like to book a consultation with Josh, what you want to do is just go to spurrell.ca, spurrell.ca. Now, Josh, I want to ask you another question. Is working 7 days a week? I mean, so what I'm hearing here is, hey, if you get 25% and you can work, what about if I work 7 days a week? Is that better?
I think there's a law of diminishing returns.
Yep.
Right. We talked about the book that was written a couple thousand years ago that suggests that that's the course of action. But just by eye, when I see business owners and they tell me that they're working 7 days a week, right? They tend to be disorganized, right?
Okay.
So they have an unsustainable schedule. So remember, like business, this is a marathon, not a sprint, right?
Right.
So when I tell people I work, 80, 85 hours a week, 6 days a week, it's only successful because I could do it, for years, right? Can you work 7 days a week for years? And maybe you can, but then you have to ask yourself the other question, which is hard, which is, are you actually as effective in that 7th day?
True.
Does resetting that clock give you a different perspective? There's a lot of times where I've gone home on a Saturday not knowing the answer to the question, but the time off helped me recharge the batteries, increase my decision-making skills. Monday morning, I have a different perspective on it, right? I
mean, there's a lot of books written on that, even Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. Well, if you're going 7 days a week hard, there is no thinking time. If you're not scheduling thinking time, you're not doing that. And I think if you study all the richest people in the world, the most wealthy, they will vacation, they will, but it's scheduled, and they will block out thinking time or downtime because, our body goes through that parasympathetic activity, and it's during that time that we recharge. And you're right, you ask yourself these questions, your subconscious, and come Monday, miraculously the answer is there. But it wouldn't be there if we didn't have that thinking time. So you're saying 7 days a week, no. 6 days a week, yes, but scheduled and scalable for the long run. Josh, what are some actionable items that the viewers may be able to do? Every one of these videos, you always give an action tip that viewers have implemented and gotten results. So what's the tip for today?
Plot out your calendar.
Yep.
Accept that you're going to need to work at least one weekend day. You brought up the example of the hairstylist. They're going to work both Saturday and Sunday, but they'll take Monday off. That's fine. You're not a union employee. You base your schedule around your customers. That's okay. Right. You're still going to get that Saturday decompress time, spend time with family. If you want to do it on a Monday, you can do it there. But let's set out that calendar 6 days a week. Let's get all of those items that you need to do in your business, not want to do, the ones that you need to do in the business on the calendar in those 6 days, and let's start executing them. Because you don't want to be that business owner that says that, I work 7 days a week, but what that usually means is for 7 days a week, you're putting out fires.
Yep.
the day is running you. You are not running the day, right?
Yeah.
And you get to that point where you're actually executing everything in those 6 days a week, the productivity just shoots right up through the roof, right?
And Josh, Stephen Covey's got those quadrants, right? The Covey quadrants, right? Q1, the one over in the top left is the one where it's like it's urgent and it's important.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm hearing from you is that people who are working 7 days a week, they're constantly in that urgent and important mode.
Yeah.
Whereas the second quadrant is it's important but not urgent.
Yes.
And so what have you been able to do over the years to get to that important but not urgent type of role?
I've realized that most urgencies are the result of poor planning.
Okay.
So when something is urgent, is either because I failed to plan something or someone else failed to plan something, right? If as a business owner you can shift it where it's very clear that it wasn't the result of your poor planning, it was the result of someone else, you stop having to drop everything to put out these fires, right? Customers will be accepting it. If you're a contractor and you know that the colors had to be selected by a certain day in order for the painter to arrive on Monday, but you had in your schedule a time where you delivered that and you sent them a notice saying, here it is, we've called, we've texted, we've emailed, you need to select the colors by Friday or there'll be no painter on Monday. What happens is now you no longer have to pick up the phone on Sunday to answer that query from that client who, it was a result of their poor planning.
So it was a little bit of, it just takes some thinking time. And Josh, just before we wrap up here, timeline-wise, expectations-wise, if someone is disorganized right now, if they're working 6 days, 7 days a week right now, but you feel they're disorganized, how long does it take for someone to get organized? Do they need to hire someone? I know you provide that as a business service to clients, not just CPA services, but you actually help your clients to organize their schedules. But is it a 6-month process? Is this like a 1-year process? Is it a 1-month process?
I would think like if you're serious about building $1 million business, you better be serious about working Saturdays for a decade.
A decade. Okay.
A decade, right? And people want to think like it's 3 months or 6. No. Be serious about working it for a decade. After that, you have choices, right? Right. You have choices where you can start taking 10, 12 weeks of vacation a year. You can start working 3-4 days a week. That becomes possible, but you got to get that car rolling first, right? And it's a long process, but once you do that, then the freedom shifts to your side, right? Because you've been so diligent with that schedule, you know what everything takes, right? And once you have that schedule, you can pay other people to do the schedule for you. But if you were just jumping from one emergency to the next, you can't hire someone else to do that for you, right?
Correct.
So that schedule, that discipline gives you the freedom, just like Jocko said.
Jocko Willings. All right, if you enjoyed this video, comment below, let us know, hit the subscribe button, smash the bell button so that you don't miss another one of these episodes. We're putting out a lot of them and they're very practical tips that you can use and implement in your business. Until then, we'll see you in the next episode.